yourself up. It's not a good feeling. And I mean, the bomb, like having those bombs after is really nice, but like I don't know. But I would say either like cane or hammer are my two favorites.
Yeah, that bomb strat start, you really have to know what you're doing. There are some very quick patterns, and if you fall from them slightly, things go poorly. Looks like we are started. Uncle is just out of our lives here.
Bye forever. So our first chest here, silver.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So if they get that bow, they're gonna be pretty strong. So it looks like we got a map check here. Did I see a pendant on Hera?
You did. I think we also saw a crystal over in Eastern and a 5/6 crystal in Desert.
Exactly.
And now I really want an early bow so that they can just run the entire game with the silver arrows.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll cause so much lag, but they'll just wreck every single boss.
So it looks like they got the blue cane for their uncle item. So a little bit of magic conservation and kind of strategy here. Felix going ahead to kill that first guard. And getting bombs there, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic that they got bombs in that chest there. I love the blue cane for how easy it kind of makes all the escape stuff. I hate the blue cane for how hard it is to farm bombs.
Right.
And yeah, having those 3 in a chest just means, hey, don't have to worry about those chests at the back of escape. You can push straight on through.
Right. Honestly, I think I would even try to kill a few rats just with it's really easy with the blue cane because they only take 1 hit really. Maybe 2 hits, but maybe just to get a few more bombs before heading to Kakariko. 3 bombs won't get you very far over there.
No, ideally you'd have 3 when you're entering, not 3 before you spend 1 for the back chest.
Exactly.
Escape. So speaking of escape, runners heading through it right now, doing the usual things, picking off those guards. Ooh, Sakura taking a nasty little fall into the hole there.
Oh. Just, evening the playing field here. She was a little bit ahead, and now it's even closer in this first 2-3 minutes of the game.
Showing some nice courtesy to her opponent there.
Of course, yeah. As we all know, these guys are just going easy on each other.
So, Kelsey, this is my first time here. What's a randomizer?
So what is a randomizer? So wait, is this a legit question? Do you want me to explain this?
Only briefly.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, randomizer for A Link to the Past, what we do is everything you can really think about in this game is randomized. There is logic that the randomization follows, so you can beat the game. But basically, what these runners are doing are looking for the items that will allow them to beat the game. To beat the game, you need to get all 7 crystals. Sometimes you might need to get the pendant as well, but that's hopefully in very bad circumstances and not what you always want to be doing. But basically, you'll see our runners take, kind of interesting paths here and stuff you don't normally see in the normal playthrough of this game to get through. You'll see a lot of new different strats, a lot of sometimes a little stressful things, but basically it's a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill. It's a really interesting and refreshing way to see A Link to the Past.
I like the word refreshing to describe it. It certainly shows you stuff that you wouldn't normally see just trying to speedrun the game and makes you think a lot about how you're approaching things.
Right. A lot of it is also really considering like what we call routing, which is just, what is the most efficient way to get a lot of items or to hit a lot of different item locations in the most, the best way possible so that you're not wasting a lot of time backtracking.
That's right, but of course we have to start off with that escape sequence, which the runners are getting about 2/3 of the way through right now, making it up to the dark rooms with Zelda. Now, this one part of the game, you're going to get that free light cone when you're running through the sewers, so that the runners can see where they're going. After that, anytime they walk into a dark room, if they don't have a lamp, they're going to be doing it literally in the dark. And you know, with these two runners, I kind of want to see that lamp not appear. I want to see them show off when they get to some dark rooms.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill that you pick up in Randomizer. If you do play Randomizer, it is something that it can really pay off because if you do something without the lamp, it's what we call sequence breaking, which means that you're doing something that the logic isn't intending. And sometimes when you sequence break, you get to items that will really amp up the progression of your completion of the game.
All right, so Felix has made his way through the back part now, has to take out this one rat that's holding the key. Does it with a tiny bit of magic left.
Yeah, both Saku and Felix having a little low magic here, so we do want to be careful here with magic conservation.
If you know your stuff, there's a couple pots in the room before this that will refill your magic just enough to have enough for the rat. Fortunately, Sakura gets it on her last bit of magic.
Nice. Nothing in the back of Escape, unfortunately, except for some arrows and some money.
Ooh, Sakura losing an extra bomb there. That could come to be a bit of a pain in the village.
Yeah, as we've seen, I don't think they've seen any other bomb drops yet. So we do actually want to see two things before they head to Kakariko Village. Kakariko Village has, I believe, 7 items to be found, maybe more than that. I can't even remember on the top of my head. But there's a lot to be found in Kakariko, and what you really want to see is money and bombs. There's 3 bombable areas that you want to be able to access to get to items quickly, and there's at least 100 rupees that you want to have before going there as well.
Yeah, and you know, in a pinch, you can go to the shop, you can take a few extra seconds, you can buy 10 bombs, but then you want 50 more rupees, which, you know, they're just on the verge of having enough for all of that. Felix skipping the lumberjack check as well as the triples at the start.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see that he did not go for the triple. We have not seen... so triples, if you don't know, basically the game has, is it 2 or 3 different triples where if you, depending on how many enemies you kill and if you've taken any damage, you get a different item from certain trees in the game. As we've seen from Sakura, if she did not take any damage and she killed 1 enemy, so the first tier, I guess, of the triple is 20 rupees, 420s, and that will put her really comfortably with money right now. So
yeah, Felix was able to grab that too in the Lost Woods, so they are set for money. It looked like Sakura saw a bunch of rupees in the lumberjack cave there.
Lumberjack is an important location because to get to an item that is there, you would have to beat Aghanim, and Aghanim is a bit of a bit of a nuisance to get to. First off, you can't even get up his tower unless you have something to get you through the barrier. And second, you also need boots to get to whatever item is in Lumberjack Cave. So it's just an unfortunate thing when you do see something there. But it's good to check.
Ooh, Felix has made his way into the village. He's got the Quake and the Flippers so far.
Very interesting.
And some more bombs. That'll tide him over through the rest of the village. That's fantastic to find. As Sakura checks another tier of triples, finds out it's just some hearts for her. But man, those 3 more bombs mean they can clear the whole village without buying more. And they only have to buy more at the end. That's always great to find.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a nice refill. Sometimes it's hard to make that call, hard to make that gamble of whether you're going to find bombs in one of these chests as you're going through. It doesn't always work. Or that happens. What just happened to Felix is that you get a bomb upgrade, like a capacity upgrade. Felix getting that early lamp, sorry.
Aww.
So no dark rooms for our players today.
And buying another upgrade to his bomb capacity at the bottle vendor there. They are able to carry so many bombs already.
Oh.
So Felix checks the chicken hut, gets 20 rupees. We are running out of stuff in the village. And, you know, we see those early flippers there. I start to wonder, are we going to have to do Zora?
Yeah, that's, you know, the hard thing about Zora is that it's a little bit out of the way, and you also need to have enough money. So right now, it's not really in their best interest to go up there because they just don't have enough money unless they decide to hula-hand to grab some, like, what, 200 and something rupees. But, I mean, they could get the 2 items in the waterfall, but really it's just a lot of swimming. It doesn't always pay off.
Here's the funny thing about the hula-hand room. The conventional setup for the hula-hand room requires that you don't have flippers.
No, that's interesting.
So that's going to be off the table for them. Fortunately, if they need to farm rupees, they can just do some tree pulls.
Yeah, exactly, as we saw from Sakura.
And just a single rupee for winning the race, Felix is going to nope out of there partway through that course and start heading south.
Yeah. So I'm really hoping here that they're going to be finding... I mean, honestly, this is looking kind of dry bone so far. Like, there's not a lot. We don't really have much of many weapon. We don't really have a weapon at all.
Are you saying that the Cane of Samaria is not a viable, or the Cane of Burna is not a viable weapon to use in all circumstances in the game? Because that's totally right.
I mean, yeah, the Cane of Burna, as we both just made that mistake. That's great. The Cane of Burna is it does do damage, and it does provide invincibility, given that you have enough magic to use it. But it only does fighter sword damage to those things that it does manage to hit.
Yeah, and that's certainly not everything. Felix opting to pick up those 20 rupees in the dam, and instead of doing what most would do, where you head right here and go to Mini Moldorm, he's headed to check the desert area.
Yeah, this is a bit of a gamble. There's only really one item here that he'll be going to see up in Agana. Well, he might be going straight to the ledge first, but maybe he's just wanting to get that intel early. So that's only 20 rupees there. As we do know, desert is a crystal, so maybe he was hoping. I don't know.
I'm wondering if he isn't starting to think he'll need the money for Zora, or if he's looking at a lamp and flippers and going, I wonder if this is an Aga seed. And so he wants to knock this location off, possibly get some money, possibly just tick it off before he ends up being forced into Aga Tower.
Right. Oh, but he finds
goodness.
the boots. Oh my god, what a play.
That's huge.
That is huge. Wow, he is going to have such an advantage already. So, I mean, it's really just a matter of time until Sakura goes all the way over to that location. So he's going to be checking the bonk rocks here, which are on this ledge. And then I would be guessing that maybe he's going to head up Death Mountain to see what's up there.
We can't get into Death Mountain yet without the glove.
I'm totally forgot they don't have glove yet. You're totally right.
The lamp does get me thinking Death Mountain otherwise. Oh, and he's going to check at this point on that lumberjack tree, now that he's got the boots and could open it. But Sakura's picked up the power glove down in Mini Moldorm.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, boots aren't a huge time save. They save a couple minutes over the course of the run. Felix talks to the NPC there. And Felix didn't get anything for opening up that space, but it could be a long time before Sakura ends up going to Agina's cave. If she starts finding other progression stuff, it'll all just lead her in a different direction.
Right. So I'm curious to see where Felix is going to go now. Hopefully he remembers that he doesn't have... Oh, well, he's going to probably try to get this pull here.
He is maybe trying to farm stuff.
Sakura checking out Ice Rod Cave, where she gets powder. Powder's a nice, it's a nice, what we call safety, because you can use powder to sprinkle on the anti-fairies to grant you a fairy. But unfortunately, powder's item location, you would need the hammer. Or the mirror to get to, depending.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before we see that bat get checked. Sakura heading through the lake area, going to check out what's on that island in the lake. And it's just a piece of heart. But she'll still be able to check Hobo, do that waterfall cave, get the Zora ledge item. And if she can get 153 rupees in that time, I think we'll see a very early Zora check.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how much, if she gets any money. That would be super convenient, but otherwise it's just another thing that you have to think about. Another thing to kind of stick in the back of your mind to come back to later.
Sakura just getting another bomb upgrade from that Hobo there. And Felix is going to make the trip up to Ice Rod Cave and get that powder. Gets to do it slightly faster. This is the one part of the game where having boots makes some of the biggest difference.
Oh yeah, this is a long walk all the way up to Ice Rod Cave.
Oh, and Felix picks up that one rock there. It's got a 50-50 chance of having a bomb under it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're passing through the area, it's usually worthwhile to do. Sakura is not going to Zora.
The other 50-50 rock is right in front of Link's house, which is what we'll probably see here. Oh, he's going to Sanctuary instead. I guess he's going to Death Mountain.
Interesting play at this point.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people would put it off until they have the mirror or the hookshot. Just so that they can... Oh
no,
Felix is doing Houlihan.
Yeah. Well, see, this was the Houlihan strat I was talking about. I didn't know you needed flippers, or you needed flippers for this, I guess.
You need the power glove to pick
for
that
this one
up.
Yes.
You can lift the rocks and then push that, bomb yourself into the hole, and you just mess up the camera. It gets confused. It says, I don't know where Link's supposed to go. Let's put him somewhere where he gets a bunch of money.
Right. And looks like Felix is just gonna now go do his flipper locations here. So he's gonna jump in the water from the north side, which saves a little bit of time, especially since he has to do Hobo as well. So Sakura didn't seem to pick up anything from behind Sarashala. I think it was maybe just some health. Looks like she has a few more hearts than Felix does at this moment. I'm curious to see if they're going to find anything in Eastern. They're, again, looking a little dry and stuff that's going to help them progress. Yeah,
There's
more health.
More health for Sakura. Sakura can come up with a bunch of money in this dungeon. She'll get a good boost, and I think that'll steer her to the Zora area as well. That may, in fact, be why she's dived in here.
Right. So we will see that Zora item from Felix. Oh, that's what Sakura got here, was the Moon Pearl. Wait, did she not even go to...
She did not even go there. She visited the Hobo and then took the ladder to get out of the lake area, just so she could head straight up. And
I totally missed that.
Oh no. Oh no.
Didn't see what was there.
Well, that was a sword for Sakura, and I don't think it was anything of interest on the ledge. This set of gear that they're assembling here is looking more and more like an Aga care package.
Aghanim care package. Yep. Yep.
That single sword, that lamp.
Oh, there's the mirror! Oh my gosh. So
Well,
maybe not. Maybe he's gonna head up to Death Mountain now. This is wow.
This does open up a ton of Death Mountain for them. So, huge divergence between these two runners. Felix, covering a bit more ground with those boots, but Sakura getting an early sword that's going to make a lot of her travels just more efficient. There's a hammer. Aga is actually off the table for these runners now.
What? That's a great play by Sakura as well. This is awesome. How they're kind of tied in a way, They both have very heavy progressive items that
absolutely they are. So that hammer, of course, gives access to the Dark World just by lifting up some of the rocks and pounding some stakes to get to them. Sakura, of course, still doesn't have that moon pearl, so she can't head there. But with the gloves and the lamp, she is going to head up Death Mountain and join Felix.
So Felix will be able to do Hera, since he does have the mirror. We did say Hera was a pendant.
Hera's a pendant, and Felix is going to have a tough time in there.
Yeah, with no sword.
He may have to farm some bombs from underneath some guaranteed pots, because that's kind of all he's got for a weapon.
Right. It's all he's got for... there's a few switches in Hera that, you really have to have some kind of projectile to hit, and if you've got bombs, you need to have a lot of them. So here's our Dark World.
Yeah, we see a 5/6 crystal at Turtle Rock, which I know a lot of runners don't like to see. The green pendant was down at Misery Mire, and I think that was the blue pendant over in Ice Palace. So
yeah, he's having the moment right now. 2-bomb Hera.
Not a fun place to be. Felix does have a potential 2 items he can pick up here. And he's really going to be starved, though. I don't think he even has enough magic to start spinning that cane.
Exactly.
And in fact, he can pick up this key, and without more bombs, he is locked.
Yikes. So Sakura, I've actually saved and quit back to Sanctuary here.
Yeah, without the mirror, she couldn't get any farther in. Oh, she is headed to the village with the hammer and the powder. I think we're going to see a magic bat check.
We're going to see that magic bat, and at this point, it's really high chance of progression. I guess with their combined items, we will see the Dark World soon, but...
Felix opting to buy bombs here.
I'm curious to see if he's going to try to head back to Hera, or if he's going to go into Eastern at this point, because he's right there.
Well, looks like he's doing the Eastern place, so that will eventually lead him to the hammer and the first sword. Sakura getting $20 from the magic bat.
Yikes. Hopefully...
At this point, she needs to go to Zora area.
She needs to go to Zora, and she needs... Well, an Agana would be a really nice... booster. No pun intended.
And she might be headed that way now.
She almost has enough money. She's still a little short. But hopefully... But we did find the... I'm sorry. The Zora didn't even have anything, right? It was just here in the waterfall and on Waterfall Ledge.
Right.
So
it'll be a moon pearl and a mirror for her.
Right. So hopefully she won't get too caught up in trying to get enough rupees. There's her moon pearl.
Now we'll have to see with that mirror does she opt to go straight up to Hera, or does she say, hang on, I've got full Dark World access now that I have Moon Pearl, and we see her doing Hype Cave stuff?
I would, if I were her, that's a tough call. I mean, you can do quite a bit of, lower, or I guess like Southern Dark World loop. But I mean, also you really kind of want to knock out that that Death Mountain access as well. There's quite a few things to be found over there.
Yeah, 7 chests in that Paradox Cave on the east side, accessible with the Mirror and the Hammer, plus 1 in the Spiral Cave. Looks like she's starting at her house. We are going to see a Hype Cave check here.
There's 5 items in Hype Cave. One from the Generous Guy, and then 4 in the chest behind him that you have to bomb open.
Yeah. Why do we call it Hype Cave? It's so often not even hype.
So, a little
Once
bit of
upon
lore.
a time.
A little bit of lore. Once upon a time, in the earlier versions of Randomizer, the logic wasn't as refined as it is now. And a lot of really, really good items you needed to beat the game were right here. It was like, back in the day, you would either go to Eastern and get your Dark World access, or you would go to Hype Cave and get everything else you needed for the game.
That's pretty much how it went. Sakura uses her last bomb to get in the back of there. The only real item that comes out is a red boomerang. I mean, there's 300 rupees, but that's not great.
Right. Felix is going to get his hammer here soon. And Sakura doing her Dark World check. And Felix is out. So she's gonna buy bombs at the bomb shop. They're a little overpriced here.
100 rupees for 30 bombs. But at least she is full up on them for now.
Yeah, 25 bombs. She's set for sure. So we're gonna see some routing here. She's gonna check out who we call Stumpy, this poor little guy who's stuck here in the Sacred Grove. And then she'll probably go south and check out the Mirror Ledge here. We call it Cave 45 sometimes, some people, depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah, and then I expect a swoop up to Digging Game for her. She almost went in that direction first. And then we'll probably see her mirroring what Felix is doing, which is heading into the Dark World.
Right. So these actually, it looks like they're actually going to probably, they're probably going to, meet each other in Dark Kakariko, or in the Village of Outcasts at some point here soon. They're just coming from opposite directions.
Yeah, Felix, unfortunately, really low on magic here. There is a tree right by the entrance to the Dark World. If you bonk it, it will refill your magic entirely. But he also just picked up a green potion in a bottle, so maybe magic isn't a concern for him here. And for those wondering, Felix did find the boots early on. Sakura did not. They are over in the desert area in Agina's cave, where Felix made an early gamble that worked out.
Yeah. And Felix here, remembering that since he has a bottle, he can check out what the sick kid has. To get his item, you need to have a bottle. Doesn't really matter what's in the bottle. It just needs to be a bottle. And it's just nothing. Just a hero capacity.
And Sakura digging and digging and digging forever for only 5 rupees from that digging game. It's a random number of digs, between 1 and 30. The same for both runners before you get that prize, and sometimes it's just not worth it.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Randomizer, speaking of that kind of RNG, what we normally call, is that the RNG is set for the seed. So that means whoever races the seed, whatever seed it might be, they're going to get the same number of digs, they're going to get the same number of blue balls from Aghanim, they're going to get the same number of Ganon warps.
Yeah, for a game that's so randomized, we keep a lot consistent for the runners.
It's kind of a nice thing, really. If we were really wanting people to enjoy randomization, we would also randomize the pegs at Turtle Rock, right?
Oh, please, no.
I never want that ever. That's not a suggestion or a desire. That is just something we have all thought about.
We certainly have.
Felix getting half magic, which is good.
Comes at a great time too, because it refills his entire magic meter here.
Yeah, it is one of the nice things. Back in the day as well, a little more lore, when you used to pick up capacity upgrades, they would actually refill you as well. So if you picked up like a 5 bomb capacity, you would actually get a full restock of bombs.
Oh, and Felix lines up that God Pixel perfectly in the Hellway. That one pixel that you can sit on to avoid both spikes. And the Patrick Star enemy jumps in front of him anyways, and doesn't quite work out for him.
Yeah, if that Patrick Star moves horizontally, then it's a no-go. Actually, someone brings up a good point in chat. With the mirror and the boots, Felix could have gotten that blue mail in library, but he opted not to get it for the extra protection. I mean, he's got, what, 9 hearts? He's probably comfortable right now, but even with that, Fighter Sword is just kind of sketchy.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, it takes maybe a minute or slightly less to pick up, but it effectively, in most cases, doubles your health, which means that you can be so much more liberal with where you go, where you bump into enemies, where you can push through. You don't have to stop and be so careful with what you're doing a lot of the time. It usually ends up saving time, even if you never take a death.
Right. So both of our runners here in Thieves Town, I don't think we've really found anything other than half magic here.
There was a ton of money upstairs.
Yeah.
And beyond that, no. And Felix picks up that Maiden, and it's going to check the big chest in the basement. The Maiden looks very different today, since to make up Felix's sprite, we had to, adjust some colors that affect some of the other sprites in the game. But blue mail in that basement chest is probably going to be enough that he never worries about going back for
Totally, yeah, totally just negates everything we were talking about. So he's fine. Everything's fine. But yeah, depending on what sprite you're using, as Philion was saying, certain NPCs in the game will also just change color. It's just kind of a fun little thing that you see. But yeah, the Maiden looks a little sickly when you do use Force Horse Link, unfortunately. So Felix actually just opting to go with the regular blind fight instead of using like his cane. Cane makes things a little easier, but also a lot slower with the lag. And he's got his first crystal.
Yeah, so clearing out Thieves Town gives the runners nothing that actually advances them to new areas, but when there's a crystal to be gotten from it, you might as well do it early. Sakura using that powder really effectively to regain a ton of hearts there.
Mm-hmm. And Felix is headed to North Dark World. Not a bad idea, or I guess if he's going towards Skullwoods. Skullwoods is only got 2 items, but it's definitely, sometimes it's hiding really good stuff, sometimes it's not. I mean, it's quick check, hopefully. So if you have to go into Skull 3, which is the back part with the boss, it's kind of a pain in the butt to come back to, since he needs the fire rod to get back there.
That's right. Although, of course, boots make everything slightly less painful. As Felix does those tiny little micro dashes to bait the mummy out into the rest of the room.
Yep, or you can hammer him twice. Maybe it's more than that. It's like 4 hammers. I take that back.
I believe the number you're searching for is too many.
Too many, and probably too difficult. So nothing so far in Skullwoods, unfortunately. Looks like our 2 items are either going to be where the vanilla big key is, or in the back. Sakura on her way to get blind.
So if this doesn't work out for Felix, and checking the graveyard ledge doesn't work out, I expect we'll see him head to the south part of Dark World. And then, since Sakura's cleared that, we know that's not much. I'm really starting to think something, maybe the Titan's Mitt, is going to be over on East Death Mountain.
Yeah. Yep, I think that is... I mean, we haven't seen Light World Death Mountain at all, so... I mean, it could be... Well, I guess Sakura did all of the Southern Dark World exactly, so yeah, it has to be something there.
Felix got a piece of heart out of that vanilla big key chest, so that is one of the 2 items from Skullwoods. But one more is going to keep evading him. It just came at a fantastic time to give him that heart refill.
Mitts could also be somewhere really great, like Swamp. Just a thought.
I mean, Swamp Palace is technically on the table for these runners.
Yep.
You just can't get to the back half.
Far. Right, you can't get back to the back half, but it could be there.
That's a terrible scenario if something good ends up being in Swamp Palace, because runners don't like clearing it out in the first place. It takes way too long to get into, way too long to cover.
Right.
And especially if you don't have the hookshot, you don't want to spend the time draining the dam just to find out you can't do it.
Nice blind fire from Sakura there. She gets her first crystal.
And King's Tomb just holding some arrows for Felix. He can fortunately reuse that mirror portal, and he'll be able to head to the graveyard ledge too. Now I'm wondering, while he's up here, is he going to swim across the river and check catfish?
Yeah. He has the flippers. That means it also opens up all of Pod. So I mean, the mitts could be there. I mean, there's actually quite a few places that they could still check before. Wow, I have seen so many good things on this ledge lately. Getting that flute.
That flute could potentially be really good for Sakura.
Yeah.
It might lead her to the desert area just to check what's on that desert ledge. And if she does that, she'll probably check Agina's cave at the same time and get those boots.
Yep. Similarly, if they do get mitts, and I mean, a flute is just one of those things. It's a blessing, and it's also like, okay, it could mean bad things, because to get to the Mire area, you do need to have the flute. But Mire in this case is a pendant. So are we going to see a required item in a pendant Mire when Mire only has 2 items? Well, 3, being a green pendant.
I do always get nervous when the items start pointing me to Misery Mire, because if there's value, it's huge value, but it takes so long to search through. I think it might come down to, is it Quake that's required to open Mire? Because finding that so early means sometimes, yeah, that's what we needed.
Right.
If it's not Quake, if it's opening up a lot later, we might be able to avoid going in there.
I am honestly really surprised at how much Felix is doing this lower like lower overworld stuff here instead of going to Death Mountain. We haven't really seen anything, and we didn't see Hera at all, really.
No, we saw about the big chest and nothing else. Sakura couldn't get there, and Felix ran out of bombs.
So it looks like Felix is going to be making his way towards the south loop. He'll be doing this. He'll be doing Stumpy. He'll be doing Mire ledge on the below or south of the grove, and then probably Hype Cave. So let's see where Sakura goes.
Checks that bumper cave ledge, sees the 10 bomb upgrade, of course, can't grab that without cape. Is she going to keep heading east and get the flute? She is.
This will really help her with the mobility through the game.
Yeah, even if that flute doesn't end up being required, just having it makes the rest of the game go so much more easily. You have to save and quit so much less to get where you're trying to go.
And yeah, and as we see here, she had to take a slightly different route from Felix because she does not have the boots, so she could not bonk those rocks. So there is a way to get through to the graveyard ledge, but it's just a little bit more out of the way.
Yeah, that's one of the things that often stumps newer players at the game, is they'll figure out, hey, I think I should go to Graveyard Ledge, but I don't know how to get there, because you're quite literally walking through negative dead space behind pillars through there. It does not look like something you should be able to do.
Right. So Sakura's going to go activate her flute, and it looks like Felix might be headed up towards the Palace of Darkness.
These runners are pretty much neck and neck in terms of what they've cleared, aside from those boots. I'm really interested where Sakura goes first with that flute. Could be desert area. I'm thinking Death Mountain.
And we're going to get a pyramid check here from Felix. There's one item on the side of the pyramid. Just bombs. Curious to see if he'll go all the way up to Catfish first before dipping into Palace of Darkness.
He is.
Like he is. Ooh, it's a long walk to a Catfish. And Sakura going for that Dark World intel and access we've been waiting for so long. Hard to say what's the better play here, but I'm glad we're seeing both of them.
Catfish is so far away, you're always reluctant to do it. In the newest version of the logic, the newest version of the shuffle algorithm, it is certainly better than it used to be. I don't know if it's always worth it, but it does pay out a higher percentage of the time.
Right. And maybe Felix is thinking here, like, well, I can just mirror back and then...
Oh my goodness!
Oh no! Oh wow. So now the question is, does he go to Death Mountain? Without a question, he has got all of Death Mountain to check out.
Yeah, and with the boots, you know, he can even get that first chest in Hookshot Cave. That's a huge advantage for Felix.
Yeah,
you know, Catfish is so far out of the way, it might be a long time before Sakura decides she wants to check it. And all of Felix's routing gets easier. All of his options are faster.
Yeah, it's crazy how these out of the way checks for Felix have just paid off so much. Felix saying, "All right, let's try Hera again now that I have a few more items with me." Hera is generally a pretty quick check, so even though it is a pendant in this case, it's not a bad idea to dip.
No, and as long as you can avoid going into the basement for that second item, it really doesn't take that time.
Unfortunately, it is looking like there might be an item in the basement.
We've got one more chest for Sakura to check here.
Oh no, Felix falling down. Sometimes if you you dash right there on the corner of that hole, you just kind of fall right in, even though you're against the ledge.
Yeah, and at that point his options are boomerang the lower switch or just mirror out, which he opted for. So the big chest had a big 20 for Sakura, but Moldorm may still have an item. Fortunately, she doesn't have to use sword here. She can use the hammer, and only needs to get 3 hits on that tail spot. She waits for Moldorm to dive at her before circling back. That way she's not too worried about the head. And there we go.
Nice fight from Sakura.
Very clean.
Oh no, there's an item in the basement. Yikes. So she's saying she can't leave it behind. She's gonna go for it.
Yeah, I don't blame her for leaving it behind, but I do hate checking this spot. It takes so long to sit through this cutscene.
This tile room, if you manage to, if you're not gonna be on getting the iframes from the from the pegs there, like she is, sometimes it's a little fun just to kind of run around and slash your sword, but you gotta be careful doing that. Each of those tiles does 1 heart of damage. Sakura also laid down a bomb on accident. So she still got the cane to counteract herself from blasting off from the pegs. I'm sorry. That's something I would have done.
I mean, whatever keeps your coffee break going.
Yeah, man.
Felix, close behind, is going to enter that room just as Sakura was leaving it. And let's see if this basement play was worth the wait for these runners.
Woo, baby! That is something you'd want to see. That fire rod in Hera basement. Unreal. What a seed. This is a really great seed. I'm thoroughly entertained right now.
I am so happy that neither runner skipped that, because that would not have made for a happy time.
Wow.
Going back to an unchecked Hera basement after you've left it, that's probably about the last thing you want to do behind every other check in the game.
Yeah, I mean, another one I can think of is like Thieves Town Big Chest. If you don't have the hammer the first time you go into Thieves Town. And
yeah.
Felix is right behind Sakura getting the fire rod. Unfortunately, Sakura does not have the mitt, so the rest of her Dark World check is gonna, or sorry, Death Mountain check is going to be short here.
Bombs and $20 in the bottom part of Paradox Cave. Felix checking that island at the top, seeing it's just 20 rupees. He is going to open this Dark World portal and see what medallion is required for Turtle Rock.
And it's quick, so he actually can open up Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, he really can't do much else other than that, since he doesn't have the cane. Doesn't really have a lot of things, so...
Yeah, but he can step inside, refill his magic,
Yes.
grab a bomb, read a telepathic tile, none of which will help him advance through the game at this point.
Yeah, I mean, really, really fun things to spend time, but we don't really have a lot of time right now. This is a race.
So, Hookshot Cave, where Felix is, we call, of course, because you want the hookshot to check all those chests, but this first chest you can still bonk to with the boots.
And it's in the logic for that, by the way. You can actually find Hookshot on that first chest in Hookshot Cave. Rare, but possible.
Sakura, meanwhile, doing Spiral Cave, one you want the boots for as well, just to make it go by faster. And Felix in Super Money Cave gets $300 and a bug net.
Yikes. Light World, Death Mountain. Other than Hera, not really looking good here.
So Sakura's taking out that flute. She is going to spot 5. Looks like she's going to check Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, and just to clarify for those of us just joining us now, Felix got the mitts at Catfish, another faraway location. So that actually puts ice into the Ice Palace into the logic as well now, and Mire area.
Oh, ice is a frightening concept at this point. You know, often it has something, but you don't want to be spending the time clearing that when there's only 3 items and it's a pendant.
Right. Yeah. So both having all these pendant dungeons is really interesting. Having all of them. Oh no, Sakura losing Kiki. If you take damage on your way to opening up the Palace of Darkness, Kiki kind of runs off there. You have to pay 10 rupees again. But having all these pendant dungeons just so easily accessible and beatable, it's a little scary. Whether maybe pedestals in play here. But I can't think of what would be on pedestal other than like Ice Rod.
Hookshot.
Hookshot. Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Poe. I didn't say that.
Oh my god.
But I do like this Palace of Darkness play from Sakura here. She doesn't have the bow, so the right side is not in logic.
No, but she could.
But she's got a bottle.
She's got a bottle, and we might see some cool bottle strats, but she's gonna go back first before maybe trying that glitch on the right side.
The hope I have for her in this case is that she finishes up here and says, this is the closest I'll be to the pyramid for a long time. I'm going to do pyramid, and then applies the same thing to Catfish.
Yeah. Don't see Big Key in that location very often. So there's our first item. There's 5 items in pod. Maybe 6. 6.
Felix is over in Misery Mire and sees that is also Quake.
Oh, baby. This was my seed last night. This is where things get sketchy when one of your when Turtle Rock is a crystal and Mire is a pendant. You just don't like to see it. Ooh, but there's the King of Samaria.
Well, that's fantastic timing. And over on Sakura's side, she is going to do that bottle glitch. So if you're walking left down the hallway and you drink a potion... Oh no, she didn't quite get it.
She didn't get it. Yeah, the camera needs to be offset there where you can see the right room. And unfortunately, she did not get it, so she saved and quit.
The intended goal with that glitch is that you're walking down the hallway and you kind of unstick the camera, which means that you can walk to that right side, grab the wall like she was doing, and the mimics are going to move off screen. And when the game sees that all the mimics are off screen, it just opens the door for you.
So it looks like boots are required for desert, since the small key is here. Small key likely means that the big key is behind the small key door. Or not, you know, you can just have both keys. but there are 2 items here now, maybe.
The boots are still required, technically, to beat desert, because you could go to the back half, steal a small key, and use it for this door Felix is on, if you really wanted to.
Right.
So that's just a measure in the game to make sure that you don't soft lock yourself. The boots are always going to be available before that point. Felix does find both items on the right side, but it's just money and more money.
So he's just going to be finishing up. So I don't really blame Felix here for going into Mire. Or sorry, excuse me. That's what I'm trying to say, is that for going into desert before maybe thinking about dipping Mire. So really what's open to him right now is, you know, Pendant Mire and Pendant Ice Palace and Crystal Swamp without Hookshot. I mean, he could check out the back of Skull as well, now that he has the Fire Rod.
I like the play at the back of Skull Woods. It's something you know you're going to have to do, and I think there is still 1 item on the table there.
Yes.
I mean, Turtle Rock's also available. You just can't complete it yet. Sakura mirrored to the light world briefly there to buy a blue potion with her excess of rupees she's running around with.
It looks really using that half magic to his advantage to just light up the landmos.
Yeah, only 2 shots per snake are required. He gets them both or them all in 2 cycles. And that's a 2nd crystal for him.
Sakura about to get her mitts. See how she reacts here. She was slashing the poor fish.
Oh, and I like this routing from her. She just mirrors here and heads straight up to Zora because she didn't have the money earlier for this.
Yeah. Definitely peace of mind. Worth it here. So Felix looks like he's going towards the back of Skull. I get those mixed up in my mouth all the time. But yeah. Think Skull and I say Swamp.
It does not help that the abbreviation for Skull Woods is SW,
and
which are the first 2 letters in Swamp.
Not tell you how many times I've misread a tracker because of that and been like, oh, I need to go beat Swamp now, and it's actually Skull Woods, and not a good feeling.
No, see, it's easy to tell them apart because Skull Woods has the boss of Mothula, which is a boss that starts with M and has 6 letters, which would never get confused with another boss that starts with M and has 6 letters.
Yeah.
7 letters.
Yeah. So, I believe the best strat here is to just go ahead and beat Moth, which is exactly what Felix is doing. With the 50-50 here, that the item being on Moth or on below the bridge they were at, what he just ran by, you definitely want to just beat Moths, hopefully get the item there, and then come back in if necessary and mirror out.
Yeah, I like that play. I think Sakura will probably do the same. It's a bit dicey doing this because you've only got the fighter sword for Mothula.
Yep.
On the other hand, Felix is on red mail and still has 10.5 hearts. And he's got that half magic, which he's able to pick up a pot for here. So rather than sword strats, you probably just approach this with Fire Rod and get the 8 hits that way.
Yep. 16 if you want to do it with sword. Or spin or whatever. Maybe Felix is probably going to do both. Just hit the bug. That's the strat. Hit the bug with the thing.
I liked how he stood on the ledge for a few seconds there, because he was worried that a hand was going to drop from the sky and pick him up while he was falling.
Yep. The hand can grab you on the last possible falling frame and set you all the way back at the beginning of the dungeon. Sakura's going to be grabbing some safeties here to get some extra magic and hearts on her way over to Mothula, and looks like that Felix lost the 50-50 and will have to go back into Skull 3 to grab that second item.
Yeah, he had a chaotic fight, because that moth fight so often is if it goes longer than 10 seconds, but he made it through pretty cleanly. Sakura's going to be doing the same thing now, probably also Fire Rod strats.
Yikes. Not what you want to see. But he got a crystal, so that is really the value here. So I'm curious to see where Felix is going to be heading now.
Yeah, Sakura having a bit of a tough time with this moth fight. It keeps hanging out near those spikes running across the screen, but as the spikes clear for a moment, she's able to finish that off. Problem with the spikes, of course, if you knock Mothula into them, he doesn't take any damage, including from the hit you used.
Yep, so looks like she was using Hammer there at the end. Hammer does tempered damage, so that really means it's only 4 hammer hits, but the hitbox is really dicey, so you have to be careful doing that, but she managed to pull off 2 hammer hits there at the end.
And over on Felix's side, he has picked up that smith. He turns into a frog in the Dark World. He's going to return that guy home, but also probably do some hammer dashes right here.
Learning the strat for the first time. I mean, when you're learning Randomizer, I mean, and even if you even speedrun this game like for 100% to get the heart piece under this rock here, I mean, it's just so fun. Because, I mean, this is like one of the first places you really learn how to hammer dash. And
ooh, Master Sword.
Good find from Felix.
One of my favorite facts about the initial Randomizer version is that the developer picked the Japanese 1.0 ROM as the base version to use for the Randomizer because it had hammer dashing in it.
That's awesome.
That's the main reason we're using Japanese 1.0 as opposed to a North American release or something else. It's just for that one glitch.
Yeah.
Turns out there's a bunch of other glitches that pay off too, but
exactly. Spin speed, I believe, also fake flippering. I'm trying to think, there's definitely another one that I'm not, maybe Super Bunny, if I remember correctly.
I believe that one as well, yeah. And Felix, by putting off that magic bat check, has actually managed to route in all of this Smith area stuff at once. That works out really nicely for him.
Nice routing here from Felix. As we know, the bat doesn't really have anything.
And Sakura's over in the desert area, just steps away from Agina's cave.
I really hope she gets over there soon. That poor thing. I hate not, knowing that something like that, or like once you get something like that in the light world that's been accessible to you for so long, it just hurts, So she's got a red cane. She's headed back into the Dark World. And maybe she's going into Agina's cave. There she goes.
And Felix has fluted to 5. He is going to head into Palace of Darkness and do that, or clear out as much as he can. We may see him try that bottle glitch we saw Sakura try earlier.
Yeah, if he pulls it off, we'll be able to see the 2 items on the right side of Pod. These items are in the logic as bow locked. So it'll be interesting if we find something that's bow locked, like a ice rod or the hookshot. Hookshot and pod has been a theme lately.
It could be hookshot, could be ice rod. We are really running out of other progression items. I think all we're missing at this point is hookshot, bow,
Yep.
ice rod. Sakura needs a second sword somewhere. But of course, she's going to do desert first. Get those 70 rupees on the left side, but more importantly, when she's done here, she'll be up to 3 crystals.
Yep, I really like the. I really love when you're able to just clear out crystal dungeons. I mean that sounds like really silly, but like just being able to like just having that kind of like progression as you're playing randomizer. Sometimes it's a little bit of not demotivating, but kind of just it's tough when you're just running around everywhere trying to do as much as you can and not being able to complete the game. It's definitely nice to have that kind of boost of confidence that, hey, you're still beating the game despite all your checking.
Yeah, so we'll see if Felix can pull off this hallway glitch here.
Right, so he's used magic. He needs to be able to fill up the magic as he's walking. So there he goes. He can't move right at all here. And he got it. So you see how the camera is offset here. He's going to use the wall to tug those mimics off screen, and now he's able to go through that door like magic.
Now, the fun part about that glitch is that the red and green mimics move differently. One moves left when the other's moving right. So it's easy to walk the green mimics off the left side, but then the red guy's going to walk on, and you can just see as Felix was walking out there, he lined up the red mimics so it was walking into a pot and got stuck there, and that's enough to keep it off the screen.
So it looks like he just got a couple keys out of that. He's gonna reroute here, but this will give him the back of pod as for some extra access or extra items to check. And what he did there was he reset the room. See, when he hit the switch, some of the what we call beetles were kind of in the way there if he were to jump back down to get back up to this cave or up to this door, sorry. And so he just was taking,
Felix, that's not how to hammer jump.
Felix, please consider using a different hammer jump strat. I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was saying, but anyway, he's trying to hammer jump. And he's a little off from the pixel here. He needs to move down more. I think he's way too far up, actually.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah.
Oh, he's got it. I can tell when someone is lined up on my own TV. And between all the compression and uncompression over restreams, harder for me to line that up.
Yeah. The restreams it's hard for us to see where the pixel is, but
we'll go with that. Unfortunately, Dark Maze not giving him anything here. Oh, look at Sakura's side.
He is going for it. Sorry, I just missed my control key.
So Felix picked up the bombos in the back of Palace of Darkness. We know that's not going to unlock anything at this point, since Quake is used for both dungeon entrances.
Very curious to see what Sakura finds here. As Felix has to dip out of pod. Mire definitely, I would say, out of the two pendant plays here, might be the better choice because, well, I don't know, it kind of puts it in equal. It's actually probably the better play here because they don't have hookshot. Ice Palace navigation is a little harder without the hookshot. And so she's going to get 3 items regardless of which one she picks. It's just, kind of a coin flip here.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing with your bomb jumps, you can full clear Ice Palace at this point. But you do have to keep in mind that the things you get there are probably sequence breaks. And when you're down to needing about 3 items left for go mode, you start getting a bit worried about doing some of that.
Yeah. Felix checking Spike Cave, which we have not seen yet. And just a bottle with a fairy. Don't blame him, really. Spike Cave is another one of those out-of-the-way locations that just kind of is in the back of your mind to check. And it's just frustrating when you know something could be there.
I don't believe Sakura's found anything except for keys so far in Misery Mire.
Lots of keys.
Probably something going to show up soon, but look where Felix is going.
Oh, the divergence. So just like how we were talking about here with the 50-50, this is where we're going to see it. So Sakura gets a heart piece. That's her first item.
One more item in Misery Mire. It's potentially all the way back at Vitreous. I think regardless of if it's here, she's going to try to clear this dungeon out.
Yeah, and Vitreous with no bow is not great.
Ooh, yeah.
She does have half magic, so she could use cape strats, but even then, she only has the fighter sword, so it would be really tough. The dash
fighter sword Vitreous
fighter sword
is about the worst boss fight.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you definitely want to start using some bombs. But I've actually had a seed before where having to do Vitreous without the bow was in the logic. It was not pretty. It was like Mire was like a good crystal, and the bow was in Fat Fairy. It was crazy, but yeah, this will be tough for her if she does go all the way back to Vidi.
The problem with Vidi is that the fighter sword slashes do no damage. You need to be spin attacking him, and if you deploy that cane for invincibility, now you can't do spin attacks when the cane's equipped or the cane's activated. So she's gonna be doing a lot of fighter sword spins, which are terrible to do, or throwing a ton of bombs.
Yeah, so really, it's kind of like, do you want a really hard boss fight, or do you want to do a lot of bomb jumps at this point?
Well, we'll see. I think if she gets that second item in the big chest, she may decide to get out of Misery Mire here. Ooh, bonking on that wall means she just misses the room. She's gonna have to swap back out to reset.
Yep, so you have to get two rooms away for the reset here. You can't just jump off the ledge there and go back in. So she has to go all the way back out. Without Hookshot, she has to dash very carefully and precisely here, and she barely makes it. Oh my goodness.
Well, there's her second item, and it is bombs. She's got her 2 items from here, but she is continuing on. Speaking of bombs, Felix using that great bomb strat, placed 2 on the ground in the penguin room, and the bombs, for some reason, take out penguins in a hit, even when the fire rod doesn't.
That's crazy. Also the hookshot. Hookshot is one of those items that is either stun or kill, and I mean, obviously they don't have it, but it's interesting how hookshot can be super, super useful when you don't have a good sword.
I mean, we were talking about the bomb jumps as a reason you might not want to go into Ice Palace without Hookshot. Ultimately, I think the penguins are a bigger reason to avoid it without Hookshot.
This is true. Nice throw from Sakura there with the block. So yeah, both of our runners are kind of in just a sticky situation here. Just really hard things they're having to overcome.
If one of them ends up finding a progression item from their check, it's going to give them a huge lead here. They're pretty much even on items right now. Felix has that Master Sword that Sakura doesn't. Felix does have a bit of advantage in terms of he's cleared more of the overworld, which will come down to it, or which will make a difference if it comes down to Sakura checking those spots.
Right.
But ultimately, it's going to be who finds the next bit of progression.
So Felix is going to be doing this bomb jump here, which is very rarely seen and is a little tricky. So the way he has to do it is he's going to need to line himself up against this block facing up. When he he needs to get really low down on the bottom here, like basically where Link's shadow cannot be seen on the blue spikes, just like that, and then moving right a little bit. It should. Maybe he needs to move his bomb left. Yeah.
He needs to be that low.
There you go. Yeah, it needs to be pretty low there. That's a tough bomb jump. I would actually say that's probably the hardest bomb jump in Ice Palace. There's another one that's over a smaller gap, but it's pretty lenient. You've got quite a bit of wiggle room with it. And Sakura going ham with the bombs on Vitreous.
I like this. It takes too many bombs to take out those eyes, but you do hit multiple eyes every time a bomb goes off. And so you kind of slowly whittle down the fight as we see those eyes start to disappear. The fight gets worse as it goes on because the more eyes disappear, the faster Vitreous keeps popping out.
And the faster the eyes move. The eyes move faster as well. Everything just starts amping up a little bit.
And she is out of bombs at this point. So it's time for fighter spins.
Or hammer.
Hammer?
Hammer would be a good move here too. Hammer is tricky with the fight with the hitbox, but she can't really touch those eyeballs. They just do so much damage. And she's going to be doing spins here for, oh my goodness, spins here for the big eyeball. This is a lot of spins.
Okay, good. Okay, good. She's on hammer now.
So I don't think Felix has found anything so far.
So, we said it was a hard fight, and it definitely is. It's also a very long fight. To her credit, Sakura has gotten hit exactly once so far.
Yeah,
and it was only on this second phase.
All right, great fight from Sakura. Wow.
Incredibly long fight, but very nicely done.
Yeah, she did.
Gives her that green pendant.
She did very well, not taking hardly any damage.
And Felix is on his way down to Cold Stare.
Cold Stare.
2 items found so far, so there's going to be something.
One more item. So Felix will probably opt to, he could have used Bombos there to probably save some magic, but he'll probably use the Fire Rod here to clean up the rest of Cold Stare's puffs. And Sakura doing some overworld checks with the boots. And he gets another heart piece.
Oh. So all that work in Ice Palace does not lead to progression at this point.
Swamp is looking really good, and so is the pedestal. This is really, really tough.
You know what's looking great right now? Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock is also looking really good. I agree.
It's a massive time sink. It takes forever to get to, and you don't want to be rerunning a lot of those rooms if you can avoid it. But with Fire Rod, you can do everything except fight the boss.
So it's right.
And
so
go on. Go ahead.
Oh no, just saying that Sakura's gonna go check out what she got from that green pendant.
It looks like Felix is making the play into Misery Mire as well.
Yeah. I can't wait for for Turtle Rock to have Bow and Hookshot and Ice Rock. Here we go, Sakura. And she just gets a shield.
Oh, that's frustrating to spend all that time and get a little piece of plastic that blocks arrows and nothing else. I think Sakura's going to show a spike cave here and get What did Felix get there? A big 20?
Yeah, it was nothing. It was, yeah, I think it was money. And for the record, yes, blind pedestal pulls are within logic. You don't need the book to know to actually pull something at the pedestal. It's just reading it is just a nice convenience.
She is not going to check on Spike Cave. She's going to mirror here and head
to Turtle Rock, maybe. Yeah.
Interesting way to get to Turtle Rock. I believe it's faster to go up through Paradox Cave.
But she doesn't have the Hookshot.
Oh, of course. Of course we don't have the Hookshot yet. I'm just surprised because we're an hour and 20 minutes in and that Hookshot is hiding.
Yes, it is. So this is our only option. Oh, man.
I see a great question in chat about how they're dashing like that on Turtle Rock. And the answer was just posted in chat, but very briefly, if you manage to activate the boots 1 frame after you release the sword spin, you get put in a weird state where you can't even slash your sword. But if you step onto some of those stairs that you can control your movement on and then step back off, you'll get the speed of the boots without being locked into going in one direction. So you can just run around at super high speeds. It's probably the best thing about early boots in a seed.
Yeah. And the other thing that was mentioned in chat here was super speed. You only see super speed really going upstairs, I believe. And that's really only, you don't see it very much in Randomizer because it's a kind of tricky input trick. You have to have the sword out and then do an item dash, so it's kind of like a 3 input thing. But you see it mostly in NMG speedruns. But yeah, you can also do it if you happen to have Hookshot or a hammer.
Now, Sakura gets the bug net from Super Bunny Cave. I know she's going to be happy about that because she does like to use that bug net for fighting Ganon.
Yeah. You can medallion dash actually on the top of Turtle Rock. It just makes you're allowed to just get off of Turtle Rock really fast. You just hop right off real quick. It's a little surprising when it actually happens.
Alright, so Felix headed over to the right side of Misery. Mire going to finish checking all of that. We'll see if he decides to go to Vitreous, but Sakura has made this big play into Turtle Rock.
I like it. I really do like it. So that small key actually is exactly what she needed to see there. She cannot do the 2 chests on the right side because, well, she doesn't have the fire rod, and hopefully she remembers that soon.
Sure she does.
Oh, she does have the fire rod. I'm so sorry. No, I'm like not thinking. I'm thinking about Hookshot, not having Hookshot, and then something about the fire rod.
But she does have to be really careful in this room. And does she remember here? She does.
Yeah, she does. She changed her direction. I'm totally
so
what I'm saying.
She's doing it here the way that devs wanted you to do it, where you go around the slow way, you light all the torches, and then you step off.
Yeah, the Hookshot.
The way we tend to do it is use the Hookshot once you've lit the last torch, fall in the pit, take a heart of damage, and go back to the start of the room. As a result, every runner's muscle memory has them go up on that track.
Yeah, so she is totally fine to do this area. In short, there's the Hookshot.
Speaking of...
what a great find.
Oh, now this is an interesting dilemma.
So Hookshot gives him the rest of Swamp.
And she is going to leave at this point. I wonder if she'll be back here after checking Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, I would totally do that. This is a good call by her. She might find exactly what she needs here, which is the ice rod.
If she finds the ice rod here, 100% no question.
Finishes Turtle Rock. Yes.
The dilemma comes when you've just picked up progression in Turtle Rock that unlocked another entire dungeon for you. Do you go and clear that dungeon, hoping that it will give you the ice rod? Or do you soldier on through Turtle Rock? Because I've seen
Oh my god, wow.
more progression there. That bow might change the calculation.
Oh my god, and just like that, Sakura has a very, very nice advantage. Wow.
Yeah, I really like this play when you find the bow. If she hadn't found the bow, I might be going back in.
Yeah, she's going back into pod right now. Hopefully, she's thinking maybe back of pod. She wasn't able to check it, and or right side of pod. She wasn't able to check it because she didn't get the bottle glitch. So she is probably thinking, oh my god, like, here comes the Ice Rod. And so it looks like Ice Rod is going to be our go mode item for Sakura.
Now, over on Felix's side, he's doing that Master Sword Vitreous fight, which is much nicer. He's down to 1 heart, but all he has to do is stand there and repeatedly sword slash, and that eye will never get near him. It's a slower way, but gosh, it's safe, and it gets him through to that green pendant.
This is quite the scene. I can't say that I envy them right now. This is got us all over the place.
No, this is Hookshot in Turtle Rock, leading you out of the dungeon to other progression immediately. This is standard for version 29.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's just not nice. So Felix is going to talk to Sahasrahla now. Get that fire shield, or fighter's shield.
And he has all 3 pendants, so he might be doing a blind pull.
Yeah. He's fluting to 3.
Yep, this is looking.
He's headed to the woods.
Yeah, there's something back there, I think.
I'm not entirely sure. I think I once saw someone in chat get excited about it. At this point, for it to work out for him, it needs to be
Ice Rod.
The Ice Rod.
It has to be the Ice Rod for him, otherwise Sakura's got a nice lead.
Anyways, get your pedestal hype in chat, folks. We are gonna see what it is in just a moment. I love that fanfare.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty epic. Oh no, Felix. Oh no.
Just a 5 bomb capacity upgrade. Not what he needs at this point in the race, and all of Ice Palace turning out to be a huge time sink for him.
Yikes. Ice Palace and Mire.
There's good news. There's good news. He is headed back to Turtle Rock.
I don't know if
Maybe.
he remembers that he does not have the hookshot. And here we go.
That's all right, Felix. Other people have made that mistake recently.
2, 1. Yep, realization happens. Oh, poor Felix. He's flustered, poor thing. We'll see if he does the same thing as Sakura here.
Yeah, this is not a place you want to be in your run where Felix is.
Yeah.
He's making very good time throughout the race. And Misery Mire, since Sakura did that as well, he didn't really lose time there, but I think you clear 2 pendants and you start going, how much time have I lost?
And I mean, the good thing is that Felix has already done exactly what Sakura is doing right now. He's already has all of this pod area checked, and the other thing that really is in Felix's favor is how long he had those boots. So he was able to do so many more overworld checks that Sakura might have to consider to find that Ice Rod.
Yeah, this is not over by any means.
Yeah, this is definitely closer than it looks.
Alright, Sakura has now cleared out everything we previously saw in Pod. Able to go to the back with this bow, take out those mimics, and stock up on silver arrows. 27 silver arrows is a fantastic number to have.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember where Felix found his Master Sword. It wasn't an overworld location.
It was in the Hammer Pegs by
That's
Smith.
right. It was Hammer Pegs. That's the sequence that Sakura has not done yet. Yes.
And I do know she's not a fan of Swamp Palace. I would not be surprised to see her check that stuff before doing the inevitable full clear of Swamp.
Felix about to get his hookshot here. And he mirrors out, and he's gonna do the same thing as Sakura. He's gonna find that bow in Hookshot Cave. Wonder where he will go next.
Sakura getting harassed a bit by the turtles.
Yeah.
Those two rooms is...
Spider sword, turtle room is not fun when you're trying to do spins. You can't just hammer them again, but it's a lot of tricky timing, and they can all go downhill pretty fast.
Oh, the hammer's great. It takes out flipped over turtles in a hit. It has the massive, massive downside of it flips over other turtles and knocks them right into you.
Exactly.
And one silver arrow to the Jewel of Helmasaur takes out that second phase very nicely.
And
That brings her to her, fourth crystal?
fourth crystal only for the blue boomerang. Wrong blue item for Sakura.
And Felix, also with that bow, is headed to Palace of Darkness. He's going to be
Going straight to
getting
Helma.
that crystal as well.
Yeah, just going straight to Helma, and she's probably gonna mirror here and just clear out the back of Eastern.
No time like the present to get that fifth crystal.
At this point, the ice rod, I believe, can only be in Swamp Palace or somewhere in the back of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Or, that terrible scenario where the book's in the back of Turtle Rock and it's locked behind that.
Man, the seat is bad enough. Philion, please.
Fair enough. My apologies, runners. I do
No,
respect
okay.
you as humans, despite my immediately earlier comment. But yeah, with that knowledge, for Sakura to keep her slight edge here, she's going to have to go into Swamp
Yeah.
after this, or at least into Swamp after doing the Smith stuff. If she steps into Ice Palace, that lead she's eked out at this point is going to go away quickly.
Right. What's interesting is that Swamp has been available to them for a while, a part of Swamp. So I'm curious to see if it's going to be, if it is in Swamp, if it's going to be the Hookshot side of Swamp or not. Which means, what kind of double dipping we've had to do here for all of this.
Interestingly, if it ends up not blocked behind the Hookshot, then it was required to double dip Turtle Rock or Swamp Palace, but not both.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Armos just dropping that map, of course, but there's a fifth crystal.
Beating the game, one by one crystal at a time.
And where is she off to now?
It's It's gotta be the only place, really, that... I mean, she's gotta beat Swamp anyway for that crystal. As much as you did mention she hates Swamp, and as much as we do hate Left Side Swamp, and we all like to go mode Swamp because it just feels so good. And it's so fast. Sometimes
yeah,
you just gotta do what you gotta do.
When it's got that crystal and Ice Palace doesn't, certainly that's gotta factor into your decision to go there. Now, on Sakura's side, you know, Felix is exactly the ice rod away from go mode at this point. On Sakura's side, she also needs that other sword to show up.
Yep, this is true. She is still technically 2 items away from go mode, while Felix is only 1.
Now, that may mean if we find the ice rod right at the start in Swamp, she'll have to keep checking chests until she gets a sword. Fortunately, she's cleared out so much of this game already that at this point she also can feel fairly confident there's either going to be a sword in Turtle Rock or a sword in Ganon's Tower somewhere.
Right. Hoping for their sake that it's not Left Side Swamp. They've suffered enough.
Ooh, Felix getting buddied by that Igor is he shot an arrow into it just before it was available to take damage.
Yeah.
Fortunately, silver arrows. Ooh!
Oh no, Felix.
Silver arrows make that easier, but you still have to hit it when it's vulnerable. Felix may be starting to show some signs of fatigue or just worry about that Ice Palace clear he did.
Yeah, it's... I would definitely, after doing all of that kind of stuff, I would definitely be flustered, panicking, just trying to get through things as fast as you can. And sometimes when you're thinking about, you know, how quickly you need to be doing things, your execution is just not willing to cooperate. We've all been there. But hopefully he's just having a little bit of mishap, but he'll get it together here.
For him at this point, I think the only play available at all is Swamp Palace, and that's where he's headed.
Agreed. Still nothing on Sakura's side. That single arrow taunting us all. So she's gonna go to the back.
Oh, I like this. I like this. When you have basically one item, or in her case, I want to say kind of 1.5 items to go, because there are multiple swords, you just go straight to the back. And on your way there, if you happen to pick up the last item you need, you don't have to worry about left side. Right.
And sometimes you might have to do a double dip anyway if the big key is back here, and you're still looking for another item. But I mean, it's definitely a gamble to consider when you are depending on how many items you've picked up so far. So there's the big key here. So she's actually going to opt to go back up, just a little bit of backtracking instead of a double dip here. And she's going to dash up to get up these funky stairs.
Ah, good.
And you have to hold left. Yep.
So those stairs are, what's the word I'm looking for?
Glitchy.
Broken.
That too.
Yeah, if you dash up those stairs, you're fine. If you just walk up them normally, you immediately walk back down them.
Yep.
So here's the other nice thing. Sakura skipped left side. We haven't seen the map or the compass so far.
Yeah, so very good chance here that this is a really nice swamp where all the items are just right here in the front. no left side business. I don't know what I would do at this point. I think I would honestly just go straight left. Even if, like, I knew that I hadn't found map and compass, I think I would just do it. But Sakura's going to be doing this fight with the fighter sword, so she's either going to be menuing a lot here or doing a lot of spins. It looks like she's going to opt for the menu strat.
So just like Vitreous does not take damage from fighter sword slashes, neither do these puffs on Argus. Hammer does great damage, takes them out in a hit because it's basically a tempered sword. But you can't use Hammer and Hookshot at the same time, so she's going to menu back and forth, and back and forth, clearing this out. Felix also skipping left side.
Yeah. So this is just adding a little time to Sakura's menu time. A few seconds at a time. But other than that, I mean, Felix is going to be a little bit slowed down here at Argus as well with the the Master Sword. The Master Sword takes 2 slashes per puff. So it is a little faster, but I mean, it's still kind of annoying.
Good news is, one silver arrow takes out Argus. It's very hard to make that hit consistently because your arrow goes so slow and Argus is so fast, but Sakura gets it on the 3rd try.
Yikes.
Ooh. So with that map there, Sakura's gonna have to head back to left side if she wants to full clear this dungeon. As Felix does this Argus fight, as we mentioned, 2 slashes per puff with the Master Sword, but at least he gets to stay on the on the Hookshot in the menu.
Yeah, no menuing for Felix. He'll probably switch to the silvers to take out 2nd phase here. And Sakura making her way very quickly back to the left side of Swamp here to get to these 2 lovely chests.
So if Ice Rod doesn't show up here...
It's in Turtle Rock. Again. Oh man.
Right, and Felix will be able to just go straight to Turtle Rock. He knows that's where it would have to be at this point. Sakura will do fine if she goes straight to Turtle Rock. But if she gets worried about Ice Palace, we'll see her full clearing that. And probably checking Pet at that point. And that's not going to help her standing here.
Yeah, this race is still so close.
Now the good news is, she might just decide, hey, I'm going to do the blacksmith stuff before Turtle Rock, and then do Turtle Rock. And if she does that, she's going to get a sword out of it.
Right. I think it's optimistic, but it would be the best decision she could make. You know.
And there's the last item.
That's super unfortunate. It's in Turtle Rock.
Oh no, no, Sakura.
Oh no, Sakura, no. I feel this really deeply. I feel this pain.
I understand her reluctance. You do not ever want to be in that position where you go all the way through Turtle Rock, you get to the laser bridge, and after all that work, there's still no ice rod. So I can see why you'd clear out Ice Palace first. We just know it's not the case, and we know that going here is going to cost her a huge chunk of time.
Wow. So,
All right.
Felix,
on Felix's side.
Yeah, Felix is going back to Turtle Rock. He's got nowhere else to go. He's done pretty much every single overworld spot he can, except for, I would say, the tablets. Since the tablets you need the book for. If he finds the tablets in Turtle Rock, I think you mentioned that earlier, Phileon, and I just can't stop laughing about it because that would be absolutely absurd and cruel and unusual. But God, that's pretty much it. That's all he's got left in the overworld.
So, here's the thing. The daily race from last night that I know Felix was in featured something deep in Turtle Rock that unlocked the mirror outside of Turtle Rock.
No.
And then the ice rod was in Mimic Cave.
No.
So, I'm sure that's still on Felix's mind. And that's, I mean, obviously he knows it has to be something in Turtle Rock right now, but as he makes this climb, he's probably going, oh no, just give me the ice rod in the dungeon, don't make me double dip for it. As he gets dead rocked quite badly there.
Yeah, that kind of dead rock, it's really in your best interest just to go back inside the cave and reset the enemies. Instead of wait.
What is your least favorite item in Link to the Past, and why is it the dead rock?
Item?
Item, enemy.
If
Well,
there
see,
were items,
they don't move. Like items, they don't move.
That's true. See, I was like, wow, if I could use a dead rock as an item, like, that would be so fun.
If you could pick up and throw a dead rock, that would remove all the pain surrounding them.
Yes, it would. Nice use of bombos there from Sakura. Definitely faster than trying to hookshot all of those lovely little Pangators. And with her plastic knife, she's not going to be doing a lot of damage with them. Or did you say earlier that the Pangators don't even take damage to Fighter Sword?
I think they do. I think it's just so
do,
negligible, you might as well not.
Yeah. Right. So Felix is going to check out the rest of Turtle Rock for us, and we'll see how far this ice rod is.
I know a lot of runners, when they're in go mode, would steal the key from this pokey and then just run on through the dungeon with that. But in Felix's case, for all he knows, the ice rod could be in this middle chest here.
Right. And another key. So he just used a key to get to a key, which is unfortunate, but you know, he's still got a few places to go. He's got the big chest, he's got all of Laser Bridge, he's got Mimic Cave.
And Sakura, at the very least, when she does right side of Ice Palace here, she won't have to do that bomb jump. Felix needed the hookshot for that room, and without it had to do that precarious lineup, and Sakura just gets to shoot on through there. And Felix steps outside of Turtle Rock, runs along a ledge, Mire is into the light world on this inaccessible ledge with some mimics walking around having a party. Is Ice Rod here?
We don't know. Can't wait for some rupees or some arrows. Oh man, this is wild goose chase right here happening. He looks dipping back into Turtle Rock now. There it is!
There it is.
Wow.
So, finally, after clearing out 9 of the 10 dungeons in this game, Felix has found that Ice Rod and gets to be in Go mode for a very short time.
Short time at 1 hour, 49 minutes. Holy moly. There's the book, just for extra fun, as he slashes it out of frustration.
I'm just glad it was Ice Rod then book, not book then Ice Rod.
How much do you want to guess there's a sword behind one of the tablets? Maybe he'll check maybe he'll check Ether before he goes into Ganon's tower.
In hopes of finding a sword? You know, it's possible.
Ice Rod Go mode in Turtle Rock is just one of my least favorite things. It's not good. It's not a good feeling. It's like in a game that you expect to be randomized, you expect the items that you need to not be, in the dungeons where you need them.
Right. If I want a game where I find an item and then have to use it over and over and over to beat that dungeon, I'll play a non-randomized Zelda game.
Right. There's a small key to get back to Trinexx now, so looks like he's going to opt to use the safety door here in the... Oh, just kidding, he's getting Ether. But now he says no to the safety door, and since he does have Master Sword, he is going to be using the hammer probably here for Trinexx's sake.
Nice cane dash there. Able to hit both those switches as he runs through. It's always nice and swaggy to see that play.
Oh yeah. He's got plenty of magic, so even if he gets a little too crazy with the rod shots here, he'll be fine. Hitbox here, hammering up is a little tough. Generally, when you use the hammer, you want to hammer side or down. It's just a lot easier to see. You just burned the crap out of the ice head here. Wow.
I mean, you can keep spamming the fire rod. It will do damage.
Yeah.
You go through a lot of magic, but with half magic, that's not a concern. Felix now just has to get a bunch of hits off on Trinexx, and at the very start, you can spin the head. Then you're down to hitting that center glowing spot.
Right. Four hits there with the hammer. Sakura's going for her blind pedestal goal.
I like what she did here. She goes into the dark world briefly so that she's got the portal available to her. Because if she doesn't get the ice rod off the pedestal, she can do the smith stuff.
Right. I mean, to be fair, the portal, the dark world portal, is kind of on the way back down to Kakariko. But yeah, it's a little closer now.
So Felix is on his way over to Ganon's tower, and we do have a silly little game we like to play here, because there are 22 possible chests in the basement where you could find that big key. Why not throw a guess in chat? Spam some number between 1 and 22. 22 usually being the tile room, that last room that no one wants to check.
Because it takes so long. But, yeah, we'll see here if it's going to be left side, right side. Maybe we'll get a sword on the way. I'm really surprised Felix didn't go check for a sword, but maybe he's just feeling behind.
You know, with that blind ped pull he had to do, the same one that Sakura ended up doing, he probably feels a ways behind. And if Sakura hadn't gone to Ice Palace, I expect he would be.
Yeah. He looks like he's going to be doing right side first. So right now he's only checked 2 locations, or 2 chests.
And 20 rupees, a map of the building, another piece of heart, and 10 arrows for Felix there.
Left side. So it looks like he's going to be taking the other way to the... Oh no, he's probably grabbing this key before mirroring out. Yep. But yeah, he'll see if it's going to be on the torch here. Maybe he'll get a small key. Maybe he'll get something good. Just a small key.
Well, good thing they picked up those boots.
Oh, yeah.
And Sakura has picked up her Master Sword. Traded in the Smith. Now got that purple chest. There's a Tempered Sword for Felix.
Wow. That makes his end game here a lot easier.
Oh, and a nice handy cape that, comes in handy on the Ganon fight if you really want it.
Still looking for that big key. So, let's see. Let's think about how many chests we have.
I believe that was chest number 12.
That was 12, yes.
And Sakura has realized at this point, Turtle Rock
Is the play.
Oh, she hasn't done Spike Cave yet.
Oh, no. Nice mushroom. We almost have a full HUD for Felix. Almost.
Where is that shovel? Let's be real, that shovel is probably hiding on one of the tablets somewhere.
There it is.
On the left side, at the end of Randomizer room for Felix, is that big key.
And that was just number?
Oh gosh, counting is hard. I went to school for computer science. I just know how to add 1 to 1
so
repeatedly.
you said 12 after Dark Magician Room, right? Or was that after the double firebar room? That was 17. This is what chat is saying.
I believe that was 17. 5 chests were left after that one.
Yes.
Bob's chest, 3 behind Ice Armos, and then, of course, Tile Room that no one wants. So Felix now gets to head through this gauntlet with a fair amount of gear, getting to use Tempered Sword and Red Mail, and 18 hearts in total. This is not going to be difficult for him to get through.
Yep.
But it is got to be eating away at him. Where is Sakura? What did she end up doing? Does he have the lead right now?
This has been a crazy race. They have actually really gone back and forth in the lead quite a few times. A much closer race than, at the beginning when we saw Felix get the boots, we were thinking, oh no, that's gonna really hurt Sakura, but she's really kept at pace well, making some really good calls, and Felix just getting unlucky in some areas.
And remember, in that very first chest of the game, we got those silver arrows. Now that he's got the bow, Felix can use them on Landmo, and it only takes 1 arrow per snake, as long as you can land that hit.
Yeah, the lag really makes things nicely difficult.
Very nice third shot there.
And he'll be pulling out the Cane of Samaria to get this strat here with the Wiz Robes. Always fun.
Yeah, these 2 rooms that you do with Cane are 2 of my favorites in the game, just because it's not immediately an obvious strategy. If you're playing casually, you probably don't think to use the Cane on Wiz Robes, but it turns out to be the fastest way to do it, and it's so satisfying.
Absolutely. Sakura's about to get her ice rod here soon. She's used a key to get a key. And when she heads back through the tunnels, or through the, I don't even know what you would call them, pipes? Yeah. Pipes, yeah. Once she gets through the pipes, she'll be getting her ice rod here in the big chest.
Felix getting down to 2.5 hearts here. He does still have a fairy in that bottle that he picked up from Spike Cave, so even if he takes a couple shots, he will be fine. Kills those Helmosaurs to get a 2nd key. Since he walked up the tower with 1, he's able to get through this, and now that he has Tempered Sword, he's not even checking other chests.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I would say, in your best interest here to just keep chugging along with Tempered, and I mean, you might have another really convenient chest, just maybe 1 or 2 more convenient chests to get, like, maybe butter, but even then, the time save is negligible. It's not a jump, as big of a jump from Tempered to butter as it is from Master Sword to Tempered. Or Gold Sword, I'm sorry. Not Butter Sword. He's going for it, though. And it's vanilla. 20 rupees. Just for you, Felix.
Alright, so I think that was 2 hits on the first cycle of Vega 2. Nice use of that pattern in the second cycle. Sakura's picked up her Ice Rod and has entered Go mode. And Felix showing off some of those bug net strats, I should say.
I wonder why he's opting to use the bug net here.
Probably because he knows his opponent's going to be doing it too in about 10 minutes.
This is very true. Sakura does love her bug net. Let's see what kind of text Ganon has for us today. Always interesting. Funny, unusual. Lots of adjectives here.
Well,
today,
I never knew that.
I didn't either, and I've learned something new today.
And they say video games can't be educational.
I have learned today, and I feel accomplished in learning.
Felix doing that sweet strat where you dash into Ganon and you can stay inside the circle of fire bats. Gets him through phase 2 in not quite 1 cycle, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes if you, excuse me, you might hug Ganon, which, you know, costs you a little bit of time of dashing and also some hearts. But thankfully with his red mail, it shouldn't be too much of a problem, and also a fairy at hand.
Moves her down to 1 heart here. She does have that fairy to revive her right now. And Felix doesn't get that torch glitch, but he's not going to need it. When you have silver arrows, it's often just as fast to start shooting Ganon early. And that'll be 4 hits.
Wow. Quite the fight from Felix. Quite putting up with that seed. He chugged right through, man. He really, really kept going despite it being so difficult. GG's to Felix.
That is a win for him with an official time of 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 32 seconds. Not a bad time considering he had to clear out every dungeon trying to find that dang ice rod. We'll see if we can get him in here to chat briefly.
Spam those emotes in wild chat. Oh, hello, Felix and GG, my friend. You might need to push to talk or something.
I did not have the correct mic pick. Hello.
Ooh, hello.
Hello, Felix.
How you feeling?
I did so many unnecessary things.
It's okay. It's like you did. I think honestly, you made a lot of right calls. The ped bait was super strong.
You always got to watch out for the ped bait.
I'm so sorry. The pedestal. So sorry.
If it's any consolation, Sakura was drawn into that too. The pedestal availability, like it was available so early in this seed, and it was understandably just somewhere you'd want to go at that point.
Yeah, totally. I thought super early on, basically as soon as I got the cane and checkerboard, I was like, cool, I should go back to Turtle Rock. And I didn't, and that's what happens. But yeah, no, overall it was pretty good. I was very happy to find the boots early. Did Saku get them that early?
No, I don't think most people running this seed would have gotten them that early. What made you head over to Agina so quickly?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, so shout outs to our boy Lanxian. Him and I were doing a seed on Thursday night, and it was basically, we had a whole bunch of stuff, and Agina's cave had gloves, and we were talking about strategy, and he's like, hey, like at this point I just go dam, and then I go to Agina, and if there's something there, then I have a huge advantage. And if there isn't, then it's like a minute. But it's one of those things where you don't leave it and then just, quit and go back to South Shore. So I was like, cool, I'm going to do that because I've been screwed over and that doesn't seem like a huge loss. And then as soon as boots were there, I'm like, cool, I feel like I have a bit of an advantage right now.
Yeah, that was, we were just like amazed that you had made that call, because we were like, wow, I can't believe he's not going to Moldorm Cave. And then, Sakura obviously pulled ahead for a minute there, and then you got the boots, and we're like, oh, wow, things just flipped. That was the first big, like, change, or like, flipping of lead of who was ahead. For a while, you guys were like just neck and neck.
Boots are fine. They save a tiny bit of time as the run goes on. I think the huge boost you got from the boots, though, was that suddenly checking Pyramid and Catfish was way more attractive for you.
It's true. Everything is a lot shorter, I guess, when you're not walking.
It's like you go fast. Crazy.
Oh my god, it's like we're Sanic.
So, yeah, you ended up doing that. Sakura actually went into Palace of Darkness before you, but when she left, she didn't want to take all that time to go do Pyramid and then get the myths from Catfish.
Yeah.
And that gave you a huge boost.
It's a tough call. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I should do this, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, one of the really, for a while there, you really did have like a bit of a lead. You did check a lot more Overworld before Sakura, so you guys are actually kind of like neck and neck, just because she was just doing a lot of dungeon stuff, and then you were doing Overworld and getting all that out of the way. And she actually pulled ahead for a good bit there when she decided to go up to Turtle Rock while you were clearing out Ice and Mire. there's one point where she was in Mire and you were in Ice, and then you decided to go to Mire, and she was like, I'm gonna go to Turtle Rock. So she got her Hookshot and then got her bow, and we were like, oh my god, if Felix doesn't make this play soon, like he's going to Pedestal. And that's exactly what you did, and we were just really worried there. But then unfortunately those didn't yield anything, and it ended up being in Turtle Rock all along, so Sakura had to go back and do all of that.
Yeah, totally. If I didn't get the bow in Hype Cave, it would have been right back into Turtle Rock and basically clear as much as I could. But as soon as I got the bow, I'm like, cool, I'll just go back and do the stuff I have to anyways, because Go Mode Swamp is super fast, but that way at least I don't have to climb back up the mountain.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bait was very strong. I knew I should have gone to Turtle Rock, but it's so hard to want to go to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, with Ice Rod Go Mode, Turtle Rock is just not a feeling anybody likes, and nobody really wants to do.
You just have to want Turtle Rock more.
Yeah, you just have to accept it as part of your misery,
Or at the very least, want to want it. Just an update on Sakura's side, she picked up that big key from the rando room. She also skipped a small key under a pot earlier on.
Oh, so she's has to get another key here.
Yeah, she's going around trying to farm one last key. I believe it was the pot from the room with the 2 crystal switches.
Right, the one with the magic pot on top, but yeah, crystal switch on the bottom. Or key pot on the bottom.
Yes. And I have no idea if there's one more up top because I stopped checking things.
Yes. We don't know what's behind Ice Armos here.
Maybe it's a sword.
Maybe it's 2 shields.
2 shields
and a small key.
And
That's
a
fortunate.
Small key. Thank goodness.
Did the tracker mark my shield?
Your
Yes.
one shield that you got for doing that green pendant
Our boy
definitely got
Our
marked.
boy Mark doing the work. Okay, he's no shield left behind here.
Just giving a shout out to Merc.
Yeah, Mark.
Big shout outs to Merc249 for tracking this race for
Mark
us.
has done a great job tracking today, and I believe he's actually tracking another race right now. Maybe he said he had double duty.
So yeah, all dungeon seeds, or all pendants and crystal seeds, always a bit fun, but always a bit frightening. After that ped check, how were you feeling about everything?
At that point, it was, oh god, I'm probably behind because this was a huge waste of time.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that I can execute to get back in it.
Yeah. How did you feel about your execution after that point, actually?
There was some minor mistakes, but overall pretty good.
Yeah. We were worried you were a little frazzled after that happening.
Typically, I don't get too frazzled. If I die, I would have gotten super frazzled. That's the only time I get really tilted. Or if it's, not a race and I'm just not having fun anymore because I made the only wrong move that mattered, sort of thing. But yeah, overall, not so bad. Yeah. There's no point in being tilted. Doesn't actually help you.
Yeah. I mean, we all say that. It's a matter of, that actually happening for some of us. But, so what are you looking forward to moving on to the ranks of 2-1?
I don't know. I hope I don't have to face any of my friends again.
Yeah, that's tough. We both Falion and I, we were trying to be as, I think actually, no, I take that back. We were very impartial. I think we did great, Falion, honestly.
You made fun of us both equally.
Exactly.
Absolutely, we did.
Dude, there was a bomb jump in the freaking hammer jump. You blast yourself off almost to the other screen, and I couldn't help but laugh. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. I accidentally hit Y instead of A to throw the second bomb, so I was like, oh no, why didn't I throw this? Oh crap. And then it was too late.
Yeah, we had a good laugh about that. But Saku had a bit of a mishap in the Hera basement. She laid a bomb as she was standing on the pegs. Had to pull out the cane of Burna.
Kane's always a weird one to start with. I don't think I like it. It's not,
It's
particular.
not fast. It's
Not fast. It's not difficult. And it doesn't help later. I think aside from the tablets, like 100%ed everything outside of,
Yep. I think, yeah, we were talking about that, how you had done all the overworld, except for the book, and so there was this sick notion that maybe you're gonna find the book in Turtle Rock instead of the Ice Rod, and you would have to triple dip Turtle Rock.
I was having that same thought and dreading it, and just was like, all right, if this happens, then I hate everything. But you do what you can.
Sakura's making her way up Ganon's tower. She's getting through the torch room right now. So, just a few more rooms before she gets to Aghanim 2.
Aghanim might be there, just like hiding outside, watching what's going on. You never know.
I would definitely watch this battle if it were actually going down. Yeah, dude.
Especially because I have a feeling the bug net's coming up for this fight. We saw you using that as well.
Yeah, that was a tribute to Saku. I know that's like her. I don't know that she can do it normally.
Well, she can. I have seen her do it. She is much more effective with the bug net.
Yes. That's a good way to put it.
Ooh, down to only 3 hearts here. This is why powder comes in so handy at the top of the tower.
Yeah, she actually did not grab the mail in... Yo, nice shovel. She didn't grab the mail in the library, I think. Is that the one?
That's the
She
one.
only has one mail.
Yeah, I figured I was right there, so I'm like, I'll just grab it. Yo, the shovel. Does that mean there's a sword in either Pyramid Fairy or on the tablets?
Right.
Very probably, yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I missed anything, so.
And there it is, Sakura switching to the bug net as she goes into this final fight.
Let's see if she swag nets. There it is, with the boots. Doing
I
that
mean,
awesome
2 hits on the
animation.
first phase. When you have the boots and you can do the bow dash, or sorry, the net dash, it works out pretty well. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you just kind of run right into Aghanim. That's what I would be worried about mostly. I don't think I've ever tried bow dash. Or sorry, I just made the same mistake as you. I don't think I've ever tried net dashing, but
Bow dash is on my mind because I saw Felix pulling out that bow dash swag at the start of the gauntlet.
yes.
And then it ate my input. I actually got it for the first time last night. I'm like, I'm gonna try this again. Then I got the first part, and then it ate my input on the second dash. Didn't work. That actually tilted me more than having 5, like the +5 bombs on the pedestal.
All right, Sakura's headed into the Ganon fight here. Felix, I see a lot of questions in chat, so I'm going to have to forward them on to you. So a lot of questions about your relationship with that duck, specifically after Swamp Palace.
Yeah, that was fun. So the first time, did I run through it? I thought I stopped, and then I got hit by a blue guard in second time, and then I almost got hit again. I was like 2 frames off from being hit by another arrow and missing the duck for a third time.
So is everything all right between you two? Do we need to have a mediator come in for you and the duck?
Intervention with the duck.
I don't know. We got the bird mama in here.
Wow.
Is everything okay? Do you think we're good? Is the duck?
I've abused that duck before too. It's okay. I've had problems with the. Oh no, Sakura taking a death here. But I think she has a fairy. Yep.
Yeah, she stopped
fairy.
off in the fairy room.
But I mean, I know I've had duck problems before.
Yeah. I don't know. Normally I don't do that dash. I'm like, I'm gonna try something new. It was the wrong time to try something new. Don't try new things in a race.
That's a fantastic point, actually. If you heard about Felix's sweet Agana play and want to try it out for yourself, do it in practice before you try to just apply it in a race and see what happens.
Hey, when it works, it works.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just always wary of trying something new in a race and then being in a slightly different state and missing something that normally I'd be doing.
Yeah, I get that. It's weird. It's weird to do like something that deviates. It took me a while to not check the lumberjack cave, but then still go back and check it later when I get boots.
That's something I could never do. I need that information early. Like I can't do it. I'm just too stuck in my ways.
I have Hiei coming into my chat too many times and being like, no, you should do it this way. I have to listen to Hiei.
Yeah, so Sakura did finish up there. She had a really nice phase 4, getting 2 doubles off on Ganon.
And she finishes.
So she is finished.
With a 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 47 seconds SRTV time.
Yeah, so GG to her. Felix, after this race, advances to a record of 2-1. Sakura drops to a 1-2, but that does not put her out of things yet. And we haven't drawn attention to this before, but Felix's collection rate has been sitting there on screen for a while. 181 spots checked. That is
unreal.
Huge.
It's pretty good for a 202. Or 204, I guess, with saving
yeah.
points.
Agree.
And we're joined here by SakuraTsubasa. GG on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was not a nice seed.
You know what? It would have been fine if I would have trusted my instinct, but I bailed Turtle Rock when I should have continued because I got the bow and it sent me on like a wild goose chase all over the world. And so at that point I was like, okay, if it's in Turtle Rock, I've lost, straight up lost. So I might as well just check everything else. Just in case. So
well, you and Felix actually pretty much did the same thing. So he just happened to do his pedestal check a little before you did. While you were while you were doing the Turtle Rock stuff, like you had made the play to go up to Turtle Rock and get the Hookshot, and then you got the bow, and he was still doing. He did ice first, and then went to Mire, while you went to Mire and went to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it was.
There was actually quite a bit of time there where you had quite the lead,
but I blew it.
That ice rod location is not fair or fun or anything. It's awful.
I was just glad it wasn't in Mimic Cave. GG, Saku.
Yeah, GG, congrats.
Thank you, well raced. That was a silly seed, and pedestals suck.
I'm curious. I want to see what my collection rate is. But yeah, it was chaos. I was like, as soon as I found the boots early, late, I was like, uh-oh, I might be in trouble. And then when I fell in the castle or whatever else, right at the beginning, I was already tilted.
Oh, at the very beginning. Yeah, we saw that fall. That was
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It was a little interesting because like Felix had stopped early to check the map, I think, on the way to the castle. And so he was actually a little behind, and then you like fell and it was like perfectly even. So
I totally checked the map and then forgot what it was too. It's like, oh, I should check later. That's why right before I went into Dark World, I did a quick double check. But
yeah,
GG's, y'all. It was a very fun race to watch, but I don't envy you guys playing.
I should have just kept going and like hoped for the best, but it's whatever. Yeah, that was a crazy thing. But congrats, Felix. You're still in the running. I'm like one loss away from out.
no, you get the underdog story now. If anything, yours is more exciting. But thank you very much. Yeah, you're definitely not done yet.
Nope. Well, even if I was, I would still continue. It's fun. The tournament is fun. Never give up, guys. Never. It's my motto.
Oh yeah, and definitely having fun in Swiss stage, for sure.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. But thank you to you two for commentating. I can't wait to listen to this back. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah. We had fun. We were actually pretty impartial. We we kind of laughed and rooted for you both, equally, I would say. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks guys very much.
Yeah, we were equal in being mean to you, I think.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, no, it was good. I had fun.
And shoutouts again to Merc249 for tracking all of that. He had a lot of buttons to click by the time this all finished up.
Yeah, I guess. I was, what is all of our HUDs full, pretty much, except for Aga?
Yeah.
No, Aga. Felix skipped that chest at the top of GT and did not get that shovel.
Oh my god. How dare you?
And of course, no buttered sword.
Yeah. I was on the way up. I was like, you know what? I've already basically 100%ed the seed pretty much, so I might as well just grab everything else along the way.
It's going to be interesting to see whose collection rate is higher. I'm at 181.
I think Sakura's may clock in a bit higher. She had to go hunting at the end of GT basement to find one more small key.
That's true.
It gave her 2 more shields. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, we laughed about that. Yeah, about the 2 shields showing up back there. But yeah, it was a crazy race. Definitely commend you both for sticking to your guns and pushing on no matter what. That was tough.
Yeah, it was fun. I had fun. I hope you had fun, Felix.
Oh, absolutely. It was fun with our minimal Canadian trash talking.
Yep. What do you guys think of our titles at the beginning? It was pretty funny.
I liked the part where you redid your titles so that it was clear it was wrecked, because we thought it was worked for a while.
Get worked, Felix. Oh, great. Yeah.
Hey, with this busyness from the tournament, it wasn't that far off.
When did you get Master Sword? Because I got it like super late.
It was in Hammer Pegs?
Yeah, he did a lot of Overworld before you did. He did a lot of Overworld before dipping into Mire and Ice. So he actually got it like pretty early. He had it for like Cold Stare and stuff. But yeah, I think Sakura did almost every single boss with Fighter Sword. By the way,
Wow.
Huge shout outs to your Vidi fight with the Fighter Sword.
Oh god, yeah.
That was amazing.
The bombs, all the bombs. I like
bomb.
You know what I got? I got about to that bridge right before going into the dark room, and I was like, I have Fighter Sword and I don't have the bow.
Oh yeah.
So, well, I'm already here. I'm making the play. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I hope I'm good today.
Yeah.
That is, I think, the only time I've seen Fighter Sword Vitreous done without taking any damage in the first phase.
Yeah, that was crazy. You did amazing. It was awesome. We were like, oh my god, she only got hit once the entire time.
It was pretty good. I was happy with that fight. So.
And that's a 186 on the collection rate.
Unreal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unsurprising considering how much you had to check, and aside from those last couple of chests in the Ganon's Tower basement, I think you both full cleared the same amount of the game, so I'm not surprised it was so close there.
It was just all of it. We both full cleared all of it.
Oh yeah.
All right, I think we'll wrap things up here. There's another match over on ALTTP Randomizer between Sinak and Kles Hayabusa starting basically now. There's also a match on Speed Gaming in an hour, as well as matches throughout the evening and even tomorrow, because we have how many matches per week?
About 250.
Yep.
Or about 250, yeah.
250.
Roughly that, yeah.
250.
So yeah, thanks to both of these runners for putting on that show and for their playful trash talk back and forth. Feel free to give them a follow if you want to see more of this play from them. I've been joined by the wonderful Kelpsy. This was a great race to see. Thanks, everyone.
Yep, thank you so much, Phylan, for commentating with me. Had lots of fun.
And have a good day, everyone.